My name's Janet Farahar, and I'm the caretaker here at the Oriel Davies Gallery, and I've worked here for 10 years. Yes, experiences here, ghostly experience. They're not really ghosts as in, kind of apparitions, floating past, headless women or anything like that. Nothing like that. It is more things happening which probably could have a rational explanation, but you just feel like maybe not. Like things falling off shelves. Well, yes, things do fall off shelves, but sometimes you think, often it's been like in the shop, very big, heavy books that are on stands, been there for for kind of months, and suddenly they fall on the floor, and you think, well, that seems a little bit strange. And a colleague, she's talked about files that have been on shelves, and they're sandwiched between other files that have been, which her expression was, flung off the shelf. She did really feel like somebody had actually flung it off the shelf, but one I think just narrowly missed her actually. I know there's once when I was in the office, and I heard something go crash and heard her scream, and she said, it happened again. I didn't see it fall off the shelf, but I certainly saw it on the desk and things like that. And as I say, it was a folder that looked like it had been carefully placed on the shelf, sandwiched between other files, so it did seem quite strange. There was one time when I came in, I was the first one in the morning. It was about 8:30. There was nobody else. I'd unlocked the metal doors outside. I'd set the alarm. So obviously there's nobody else here, because otherwise the alarm couldn't be unset. And I went going into the ladies' toilets, and to notice that the light was on. The light comes on with a sensor, so it's actually, when you open the door, the light comes on, and there's a little bit of delay too, so you've got 2 or 3 seconds of darkness before it senses you and the light comes on. But the light was already on, so it's as if somebody had already been in there, and there's really, really strong smell of perfume. And and I kind of thought, well, that's a bit odd, because well, nobody's been in. I'm the first in. I would have thought if somebody had perhaps been in the night before and put perfume on it, that smell would have gone away overnight, I would have thought. And I'd say, but the light being on too, because the light's on a sensor, and once it doesn't sense anybody in there, the light goes off after about 10 minutes. When other people started coming in, I sort of told them about it, and they kind of said, oh, well, somebody must have come in. And they must have come in, gone into the lady, put some perfume on, and gone out again. But that doesn't seem. Because I asked everybody, did you come in earlier? They, no. Nobody actually sort of said that they had been in earlier. So
has that ever repeated? Is that just a one-off event, or have you smelled the perfume?
I think I've had other things, but smelled perfume. But then perhaps it's been when the gallery's been open. So you think, well, somebody could have gone in. So there's nothing I could have say, because I could put rational explanations to it. So it could be either way, sort of thing. There was another time when we used to have art history lectures that used to be on the Monday nights. And they used to be in this room here, but there's one Monday night when I think there was a big exhibition in here. There was things on the floor, so they couldn't have the class in this room, so they had it in the gallery. And we have a big projector screen, and because they show slides and things, so I took out this projector screen. It's huge. It's easy to put up, but it's very hard to take down. It normally needs 2 people. And in the past, when I've got it out and things, I haven't bothered to put it away, because I've always had trouble trying to put it away by myself, and I usually leave it until another day and get somebody else to help me, because it does really need 2 people. And on this particular night, it was kind of like a winter night. I had stinking cold and things, and and I just wanted to get home. They finished about 10 o'clock at night. I had to take this projector out of the gallery because obviously the next day, can't leave a projector in there for the exhibition. And so I thought, I'm going to have to try and struggle and take this projector stand down by myself and things. And I put away all the chairs, and then finally come to the point, right, I've got to put away this projector and thing, and projector screen. And as I was doing it, it came very easy. It had never happened before. I had this screen for about a year or something, and I'd always struggled with it. But suddenly, that night, it felt like somebody was helping me. It really just felt like somebody was just helping me, and they were doing it for me. And I was almost kind of like out-of-body experience. It didn't feel like my hands were doing things. It felt like somebody was actually doing it for me. And did it in about 10 minutes, and it never happened again. Any other times when I'm trying to put that projector screen away, I would always be struggling with it, and things would fall over and and stuff. But that particular night, and I'd say because I had a cold and I wasn't feeling very well, I just felt like there was this present there that was gave me like, give me a hug and like, go on, I'll help you, sort of thing. I know you're not feeling well, I'll help you. And so sometimes I do feel sort of presence or experience or things like that. I don't find it frightening at all. I don't find it sort of like, ooh. I do actually feel quite comforted in some ways by it. So.
Have you had experiences outside of the gallery? Is it something you
are
sensitive to?
Not a lot. There was when I first came to Wales, 1987, and needed somewhere to live. So I was temporarily living in a holiday home. It was an old mill, really beautiful actually, in a tiny village just not far from Newtown, Betters. And I've been there a couple of months, and then one night I woke up in the middle of the night, and it's a tiny little village, it's very quiet and things, and this was, kind of like November time, stuff like that, and I could hear voices, two men's voices, and at first I thought that they're probably standing outside, perhaps they were on the way home from the pub or something, and I thought, no, it's probably been closed by now, because by the time I'd gone to bed, it'd been about 12 o'clock or something, and I thought, no, that seems very unlikely. Say it's November too, not a cold night, hardly likely to be standing outside talking. But and then I realised that actually the sound doesn't sound like it's coming from outside the house. It sounds like it's coming inside the house. It sounds like it's just in the hallway, and So I tried to listen to these voices. There were two men's voices, one very, very low, one a little bit higher, but I couldn't make out the words. It was just these, and they would talk for a bit, and then perhaps go silent for a while, and then they'd talk a bit more, and silence. And then I could hear something else too, this other noise that I couldn't make out what it was. I kind of recognised it. It was sort of a very rhythmical, mechanical noise. And I thought, what is that? What is that? I was listening to it, trying to make some kind of sense out of it. Thinking, well, is there somebody in the house? Perhaps it's the landlord. The landlord and landlady lived in a little bungalow next to the old mill. They used to live in there, but then they built their own bungalow and things, and so they rented out the mill for a holiday home, and they had keys. The landlord often came in with firewood and things for the boiler, and I thought, well, perhaps maybe it's the landlord and landlady, but why would they be? And and I say, and it certainly did sound like two men's voices around them, and I just couldn't work it out at all and things. And then this other noise, what is this other noise? I thought I recognised it from something, and then all of a sudden I realised what it was. It's the mill. It's the mill wheel. That's what I could hear. And as soon as I realised, I just went, this kind of shiver went down, and then I kind of got a bit spooked by that, and I put the radio on and things like that. It was just a little bit kind of, even though before I hadn't been frightened, because of these men's voices. They were very nice, very calming voices. Like I say, just two men having a conversation and things, but that did spook me because it's the first time I'd had experienced anything like that. So I put the radio on. It was because I normally listen to Radio 4 and things. It was too late for Radio 4, but it was on the World Service. But they had Johnny Morris on, and Johnny Morris was telling me some of his ghost stories and things. And I thought, oh, this is the last thing I want. So yes, I switched that off and just put my head underneath the pillows and went back to sleep. One other thing, which I suppose is kind of a bit like, it's maybe more of a sort of a guardian angel type experience. A couple of years ago, had a new door put in my house, and the old door and the lock is very much you could close the door when you went out, and it wouldn't be shut. You had to have the key to lock it. New door had new lock. Come out, close the door, it's locked. And so you've got to remember to have your key. And also to make it more secure too, if you lift the handle, it put two bolts, top and bottom. So you really do need the key. And so yes, it's been 2 weeks after having the new door, and I was given a whole load of sets of keys, which I kept planning to give to friends, just in case, but I hadn't got round to it. And one December, Wednesday night, and I was making a costume actually for our Christmas party here, and it was like fancy dress. I was going to go as an angel, so I was making a halo. And then I suddenly remembered, about 10 o'clock, got to put the rubbish out. The bin men come on Thursday morning. So I quickly got all the rubbish together in the bin bag, and I was still thinking about this costume and lots of stuff on my mind and stuff like that. Went out the house. There was snow on the ground, so it was December, it was quite cold and things like that. I just put shoes on, hadn't put a coat on. Went out the house with the bin bag, closed the door, because I thought I was on the way to work. I'd even pushed up the handle, and as I pushed up the handle, suddenly realised what I was doing, and locked myself out in complete panic and things. I pushed back down on the handle, and the door opened. And I went back in, and it shouldn't have happened, but I got back in. And the same sort of thing, I had this real strange out-of-body experience that I just felt kind of almost dreamlike. Is this a dream? Am I awake? Kind of went walking around the house, kind of touching things. Just didn't feel right, sort of thing. But yeah. And I've told people about that before, and they say, oh, you can't close the door properly. But I know that, I heard it click. I know that and they say, oh, it must have been faulty. But it's never happened since. I mean, before, close the door. Fortunately, I've had my keys with me, and I've gone to go back again, and it's closed. And I go, oh, yeah, get the key out and things. So I know it's not a faulty door. That somebody was just looking after me that night.